Okay, this is the contact cement I'm going to use to put this Skyhunter Nano together. Never used it before. I'll have to see how I like it. This is an EPP foam airplane instead of an EPO foam airplane. And cyanoacrylates, CA, super glues that we usually use to put airplanes together, even the old balsa airplanes nowadays, will not glue the EPP foam. You can glue it together with CA. 2 days later, you can just pull it right apart. So you either have to use hot glue or this contact cement. I've never used this contact cement, so this is going to be a different thing for me. I'm going to have to see how I like it, whether I like it or not. Okay, we have 3 pieces here to glue together. Basically, there's 4 glue points on this aircraft. You glue the elevator to the 2 vertical stabilizers, and then you glue the 2 boom arms to the bottom of the wing. That is it. You're pretty much finished with any gluing at that point. So here we go. Let's get started and see what happens. Glued number 1. Boy, that contact cement. You brush it on there, let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes till it gets kind of a glossy shine. Then you stick those 2 pieces together, and it's true. They say once you touch them, that's where they're going to be. Oh God, it's true. You cannot slide that elevator in the slot in that vertical stabilizer. You cannot do nothing. Luckily, I had watched some build videos and I was prepared for the problem. So I kind of spread the groove in the vertical stabilizer and stuck the very tip of the leading edge of the elevator in the front and kind of rocked it in real quick as an angle and let the 2 sides of the vertical stabilizer close. And boy, it is glued. I don't think I'll ever use this cement again. I wasn't happy with no adjustment at all. When they touch, they're stuck right there. Continuing along, I glued the left boom on the left side of the rear elevator, as if there's a front elevator. Servo on top, so it's set up to be constructed so your servo don't drag in the dirt and stuff as you land, if it drags the tail when it lands, etc. So this glue will set completely in 2 hours. So there's the elevator, 2 vertical stabilizers. Vertical stabilizers aren't completely vertical. Again, that contact cement, once it touches, it sticks. But I did pre-fit the wing, and when the little pod's on the front affixed to the wing, it does roll the vertical stabilizers a little more vertical. Makes it look pretty good. I forgot to document this step, but I did take the 2 wing halves and put the carbon fiber spar in the hole in the center, and I did contact cement the 2 wing halves together into 1 wing. I don't see why anybody would want to keep them separate, although all the bills say you may want to. That would mean I would have 2 separate wings on 2 booms, and in the center of the wings it can move around all over the place, stressing the glue joints. So no, I don't want that. I want it 1 piece. So I built it as 1 piece and glued the main wing together as a single wing. And that's just checking lineup right now. Go ahead and see what it looks like. And there's 2 of 4 left to glue. There again, this isn't glued yet. Just checking alignments and pre-fitting, sort of thinking. The way this glue welds instantly when it touches just has me so shaken at this point that I'm hesitant to glue these booms on. This needs to be nice and square and stuff, so I'm kind of procrastinating here. Okay, so I'm going to use the toothpick method. You may see there a square where I have pre-glued with the contact cement a square patch there from about the top yellow toothpick to the trailing edge of the wing. Got two little holes there. There's two little nipples in the boom that go in those holes. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get it close and lining up the back of the square part of the boom with the foam that's on the top of this wing for looks. I'm going to sort of line that all up with this close, just some parts touching. And then when I like where it's at, I will pull the toothpicks out and let it go ahead and slam on into the wing and cement itself there. And because there's no room for error here. And like it or not, done. Nerve-wracking. Got the servo for the elevator wire coming out of that boom on the right. You can see it sitting in table in front of the wing, two in the center for the ailerons, and then you have throttle. That's all 4 channels. That's it. There are no more. But there's the completely glued 4 points where you glue it. 5 if you want to count gluing the wings together. That's just a recommendation I have, is glue those wings together. Make this one piece. You can take the fuselage off the bottom of it and makes it a little smaller for transport, but I don't see any reason to have the wings separate because you can't take it off the booms. The booms are glued. The booms don't come out of any point there, so plus I wanted to make sure it was all nice and square. So there's the finished wing. There's actually little foam bumps on the top to make the booms kind of look good, but they're not. No function to them. Probably mess with the lift of the wing a little bit, but they're just for show. But there's the one-piece tail section and wing all glued together. Elevator servo in, connected to the elevator, everything ready to go there. If we get down and look, it all looks pretty good. It's not totally out. I'm just not very good at a lot of physical things like putting models together, painting models, this, that, and the other like that. You may or may not tell that right vertical stabilizer is just a little bit leaning outboard at the top. If it proves to be a problem, I can put a piece of material, carbon fiber, in a 45 degree between the vertical stabilizer and the elevator at some point, or I could put a piece between the two, and that might get in the wind too much. Might just do the 45 down. A lot of airplanes are like that, but I do the best I can. It's not my area of expertise.
New Nano FPV Skyhunter comes with the Hobby King Hobby Wing. Sorry about that, slip of the tongue. Skywalker ESC 20 amp 2 to 3S LiPo, has a built-in VEC, can handle 2 amps at 5 volts. Now this generation of Skywalker FPV doesn't have the Justy connector right here connected to the XT60 to plug in the video camera. This is the control for the throttle. Wires go back to the motor. Motor's back here. That is it. It's just the normal ESC and the control cable, RC control cable, and the battery. That's it. The new setup works this way. To the new little camera, they added this cable. It finally comes down and goes to a normal RC cable, ground and hot, and you plug this into your RC receiver, and you pick up 5 volts through this, through the BEC in the ESC in the fuselage, and there's no regulator in the wire anymore. There's just this new short pigtail that plugs in here like a 2-cell or 1-cell would, and the camera. So that's the new FPV setup that's currently shipping. So don't be looking for that old regulator. That's a change, and probably, as you well know, in a week it'll change again. The upper tray in the fuselage still does slide around in the slot. I will be putting a Orange RX receiver on that top tray. Find out how much battery clearance there is underneath it, make sure, but most likely that's, I'll put my tray near the center of gravity and put this Orange RX 3-axis stabilization receiver in on that top tray. Glue that top tray so it doesn't move around. This is the little Orange RX RC receiver I'm using with my Futaba RC transmitter. It's a good little, what is it? I think it's only a 7-channel. I forget. Anyway, it's a good little RX receiver to put in there. Receiver will mount in there, something like that. I don't know about forward or aft. We'll see how that works out with the center of gravity. And antennas probably will come out through holes right here with antenna tubes. And then we just have the battery and the top, which will have the camera on it. To put on, the camera will be mounted on top of there. We're getting there. Change to what's shipping right now. The old kit had clear plastic washers that they said to CA into these holes where the wing screws on. It goes in a slot in the front and then screws down the back. They actually have fiber washers already affixed to the wing mount holes in the wing, so that's done for you too with the current version that's shipping as of January 20th, 2017. Well, there's the finished product. Prop on. Sort of does look like Ray's Cessna with the two arms and stuff. I have to take this off and still mount the FPV camera here, and that's it. Basically ready to start testing almost. The camera comes on a platform that is tilted forward just a little and has screw holes for two small screws that come with the camera, and then it is screwed to the platform here for the front. Now this little part was in the bag with the two screws. Camera. There are no instructions with this build at all. There's some people doing build videos like this one on the internet, but it looks like I've been shipped a version that nobody else has been shipped yet, or so. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, so I'm just going to screw the camera down on this platform, and I have no idea what this piece is for. I can't see that it's to prop up or in any way be used with the camera. The screws aren't long enough to go all the way through to use that on the back as some reinforcement to screwing. I don't know. Just going to do what I think looks right here. Oh well. There it is, screwed down. We'll see how that works. I just took it down snug on the wooden part that's already in the plane, and now we finish up. There we go. That should be the completed FPV camera mounted. Pretty much ready to go. See, if it didn't have this cutout in the top now, see, it could be like airplane Ray worked on in the military. There you go. There's the Nano Skyhunter FPV. The other end of the cable right here. I'll probably do something towards securing that. The other end of the cable is connected to the RC receiver now with the new shipments to pick up the 5 volts. That's it. Don't know what else to tell you except buy you one. Now, me personally, I'm probably going to use hot glue next time instead of this contact cement. That contact cement is exactly like people say. You put it on there, you let it dry 10-15 minutes, it's glossy. When you put the parts together, they weld together as soon as you touch them. Trying to slide a wing in a slot, elevator in a slot in the vertical stabilizers, stuff like that. When they touch, they stick. Good stuff, I guess, but I need just a little bit of room to adjust my glue points. But I did the best I could, and if I have to, I'll buy another one for another $109 and use hot glue on it instead of contact cement, because there are no rudders on this. If those vertical stabilizers are out very much, anything out there in the back's out very much, plane's just not going to fly straight. Can probably straighten it out with ailerons, we'll see, but with no rudders, there's not going to be any trimming of any kind of yaw. Can trim the roll, can trim the pitch, but can't do anything for yaw, because this is a bank and yank. Bank it over with the ailerons, pull up elevator, pull it around the turn, down elevator as you roll the ailerons back level. Kind of a trainer. But full FPV. Everything in the goggles. Oh yeah, by the way, hate to beat on Ready-Made RC. I'm going to probably put a shadow on my build here. But the little lens cap they give you for the camera, really, if I could blow on it hard, or see if I can knock it off. This lens cap, oops, is not the correct size for this camera. It doesn't, I mean, it just really is a millimeter or so larger diameter than the camera lens. So I'm sure that's going to be lost quickly. Ready-Made RC probably needs to look at that one, or ask their vendor who makes the camera to look at that one for them. Other than that, so far so good. Have a good one, y'all.